camera. Anyway, I think it's a recording. So the next year, 2019, is the pig year, the year of the pig. So it's time to prepare how to paint pig or hog. Yeah, someone commented on YouTube, you might have never painted a pig before, but believe it or not, I'm a pig. I'm a pig person. I was born 60 years ago, almost, in the same zodiac cycle. The 60-year circle said this will be my, in Chinese, 本命年, the birth year. The 60-year cycle is the biggest celebration in Chinese zodiac, because we can never expect to live 120 years old, right? So when you complete a circle, it takes 60 years. So the 12 years ago, I did this painting on Ding Hai. Next year will be Ji Hai. Hai is the symbol of the pig. This year, the current year, we haven't passed yet, is the year of the dog. It's Wu Xu, right? So this is the big year for me. I have to do something, right? Actually, I prepared this for a long time. Since 12 years ago, I did these paintings. This one is framed. It was done on the Japanese rice paper. I'll do a demo later to show you how to mount it. This one says, the Chinese title says 诸事如意. Literally, pick things as you wish. But the 猪 or pig sounds the same as everything or pig thing. It sounds the same. So we borrow that. We just play with the word, the sound of the word. So 诸事如意 means everything goes your way, or everything auspicious, good luck. 如 means as you wish. Okay. This is my last year of birth. 12 years ago I did, and I think when was that? Maybe 2006 or 7. I forgot. I did also some other studies. Then this one, it says the same. 12 years ago. It's kind of jade. Or a stone carving sculpture. I got inspired. I was an archaeologist, and so I'm familiar with this kind of ancient cultural relics. This is inspired by that. And this one you may have seen before. We call it pygmy, right? You put coins. So pig is the symbol of wealth. In the past, the farmers or the peasants' family can only raise a few pigs for the year, and in the new year they will be consumed. So this is like you accumulate. You feed the pig for a long time, and then you'll become wealthy. So this has become the symbol. 招财进宝. This is the symbol says. It is a combination of 4 Chinese characters. It reads from left to right. 招财. 招财 means welcome or gathering. 财 means treasure or wealth. So Jinbao, same. Collect treasures, collect wealth. So this is the beginning. It's a pottery or pottery. Actually, I think my daughter Amy did this pig. I wrote this stamp on it. Very cute, isn't it? So today I will start with a mounting project, and this is my, you might call it a study or practice, just for this coming lesson. You know, the time has changed so much, technology world has changed so much. I used to record the lesson, and it takes hours to record, then takes weeks to edit. So the process is very time consuming and very long. So this year I may do it differently. What I'm thinking is I will set an event, live event. I'm thinking on the December 1st, maybe 8 o'clock my time, you know, West or Pacific time. So you can get online to watch me doing this video. So I will show you how to paint pigs. How's that? So at the meantime, I will record this live lesson and make it into a DVD or recorded lesson for future use. So it will be very different, very interactive. So you can participate, you can ask questions, and also paint along with me live. And so you can I hope you can show me your painting, maybe on Facebook or somewhere. But on YouTube, you cannot upload pictures. Anyway, if you sign up to my class at ChineseBrushPainting.com, yeah, you can also watch me painting online live. In the meantime, you can submit your paintings for critique and comments. Thank you for the greeting, the first year greeting. It's still quite a long time away, but I can't wait. Thank you. So 60 is the birth year, is the pig. That's the subject matter of my lesson. This painting was done this morning. I used the watercolor, the Western watercolor. I use Hoban, or the Japanese brand, and some ink. So on rice paper, the rice paper is very thin. It becomes wrinkled, right? After you wash it, it's terrible. You cannot frame it like that, right? This painting is framed. We're supposed to make it perfectly flat, right? So this is what you need to do. You mount it. You see, this is another thing. Nothing is permanent. This painting is 12 years old, and look, the painting turns brown already. Look like an antique. So this is wet mounted with wheat paste. We can use silicone paper for dry mounting today. The advantage of this is that you can avoid the risk of smearing, because the watercolor will smear when you get wet. Re-wet it, right? Everybody knows that. So let me prepare this while we speak. I just cut it like that. I have a cutting board underneath it. This paper comes with a heat-sensitive film called silicone. It's made of silicone, and it will release after. Okay, let me say this. You can mount the painting directly on this silicone paper. So I call it silicone paper. But the paper that comes with the silicone film is not the permanent support. So I would rather use something else. But for some occasion, it might be just okay. So I do keep them on it. Especially small painting, I don't need to take it off. But professionally, I think you need to use something like Bristol paper or their archival, I believe, and watercolor paper can also be used. So anything more supportive, thicker. So I would prepare this backing with a silicone film on top, kind of like laminate it, and then I'll put a painting on it. Okay. Let me get my iron. So this is a very easy procedure. If you paint with rice paper, you have to learn how to do this. So I set the iron to somewhere between wool and the silk in the middle. It's 180 Fahrenheit. Okay, so I just iron this. You can see the iron is not clean, but that's okay. You are not going to touch the painting. You can clean the iron with a paper towel before using. Make sure there's no steam in those holes. Okay, and the next I will prepare the painting. Let me get some water here. Okay, let me do this. I will put a felt and spray some water. This will relax the painting, but not too wet because this watercolor may get smeared if you wet it. So just some mist. And then you can, I'll just maybe, okay, I can just iron on this side, I think. But make sure it's protected. So I don't want to use the iron directly. What I do is I peel off this release paper that I just used on the backing. Now it's my protecting paper. So cover the painting and just kind of flatten it a little bit. You don't have to bake it completely dry. Just a little bit. See, this is a tricky part. If you cannot make it flat, basically just with water, but with backing you can. So there's some minor wrinkles still, but you don't have to worry. Just keep some moisture. If not enough, you can spray a little more, I think. If your painting is perfect flat, you don't have to iron this. The point is you should leave some moisture in the painting, just like you would with ironing a shirt. Okay, and just take this off. I better cover this. See, this is the tip. You don't have you have to keep this area, the table, completely dry, because any moisture on the table or on the mat would evaporate when it gets heat and then pass on to the paper, the backing paper, and create waves or even wrinkles. So this is what you need to worry. Just clean the table and put some clothing on, 4 layers of clothing. I use denim. This paper is a little too big, but it might be okay. You can cut the silicone exactly the same size. Since I use a anti-stick papers protecting sheet, that's what it comes with the silicone, so it will not stick on. It will not stick on it. Otherwise, it might stick on your iron and stick on this covering piece. So this is what I do. I cover the painting with this silicone release paper, and then just iron again, very, very gently to start, but quickly cover as much as possible the whole painting. So if it's a large painting, it's a challenge. I would say you do wet mounting if it's go beyond 27 inches. Okay. The release paper will not stick on the extra because it's waxy here. It will not stick on the extra film, silicone. Otherwise, if you use something else, it might. So this is the advantage of using this procedure. I call it method B. Okay, just keep iron until it's completely dry, because I got moisture in the painting to help flatten it. I see some minor wrinkles goes this way, so I iron more like this. Just pull it sideways. And just make sure it's all dry. Nice and easy. Okay. That's the finished painting. Let me show you the details. This is a countryside of a farm scene. In the autumn, they have this corns spread to be sun dried on the ground, on the mat, on the bamboo mat. This is the edge of the bamboo mat on the side, and the 4 or 5 picnics. Okay, another Chinese taboo. If you paint something for someone as a gift, never paint 4. Number 4 is a taboo in Chinese, especially when you do as a gift, because it sounds like 死 or die, to die. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is another 5. So 5 is okay. And besides, 4 will be difficult to compose. So 5, you can have 1 and 4 for easy grouping. Inscription says the same. 诸事如意. Everything as you wish. Good luck. and it says, my birth year is coming, and my signature, Xiang Hui Yi. So this is the painting we're going to learn. On December 1st, I will show you how to do this and other styles like this. Which style you like better? More cartoony or more 写意 or 工笔, more detailed, more. This is I think the spontaneous style that is similar to this one. I framed one of my favorite pick. But I have this face, a little like a smiley. Okay, maybe I should let you know what material we're going to use, right? I will use soft and stiff, maybe different sizes. You just get the three basics from Blue Heron Arts. Let me move this so I can show you. So for this style, I'll use, if you choose one brush, you can use a combination brush, the stiff and the soft. This is a soft one, the basic soft in the basic three. And of course, ink. You can use grinding ink or ink, bottled ink. You can also use some watercolor, but Chinese watercolor is the best. But with dry mounting, as you have just seen, there's no worry about smearing, and you can use regular watercolor. So I got just the regular watercolor here. Just whatever you got. Color is always secondary. Ink, the tonality makes the painting. So it's the essence of Chinese painting. The color is always supportive. Okay, you like the 5 pick. Let me show you one just before I end the lesson. So you can start to learn how to do this, right? This is the paper. You can use Japanese rice paper. It's 9 by 13.5. You can get from our website. It's very less expensive, very good for practice. This is the off-white one. You can see the white pad. It makes a little warm color. You can just use white. Someone may ask, can I use regular watercolor paper? Yes, you can. This is Carson paper I've been using for my watercolor. I can show you how different it is. Let's just do a pick on regular watercolor. Okay. Can you see my palette? Okay, I just got some light pink, some milky pink. Okay, and you always load every color you need in one stroke in Chinese painting. Even on the watercolor paper, I try to do this, and it's hard to keep the color not to bleed into each other on watercolor than on rice paper. On rice paper, you cannot record every stroke as it's still, as just the way you did it. So this is more of a challenge to have one side like darker than the other, it's kind of hard. Okay, this is the nose, and you can just get rid of some with a paper towel and load some blue or purple and some yellow maybe. Just get some grays, maybe a little ultra, it's looking like more like ink. And just paint the head, like a little half circle, and then just use the rest for the big ears. One bigger, one smaller, right? And then if the color looks okay, you can just continue with that. Let me just take a chance. I don't know what's in it. So one stroke painting is the idea. Do a big oval, big belly, like that. No repeat. That's just a little bit maybe make up. If you repeat, try to make it like in watercolor as in Chinese brush painting. The more you try to correct something, either the structure, the stroke, the perspective, you make it worse. Just like dating, you have to respond and just don't try, the work to try too hard. Okay, and then I would just you can mix some red, azuri, crimson, and ultramarine, and some black maybe to make it black to dot the eye. And you can make it smile or just a round dot would be fine. And then just do a little tail. And then we dot the nose, and you can make a little lip, I think. Yeah, let's try to. I think no change, just like that. And I can write the Chinese, we call this auspicious, auspicious greeting or wish. I got lots of red to write this, I think. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. First is Zhao, but they share something. This part, this radical, is shared by two characters. Okay. Zhao. Also, if you read the left side, this is the treasure radical. Then this is the verb, 招财. So they share the middle part. 进. This is the difficult stroke for most students. That's a long one. Okay, this part then is shared by the top. This character, the fourth character, Bao. And I think in correct way, maybe you should write the roof first. But I write the way it reads, so you can understand. This is the whole design becomes a sign, not a regular calligraphy arrangement. So, dot on top. 招财进宝. This is like a picnic, right? Good luck for the year of 2019. Again. This time just I think I should sign the next year, maybe for next year or something like that. Wish everybody good luck. This painting you don't have to, because I did on Carson paper, so you don't have to mount it. As you see, there's no subtle tone like the rice paper. So which one you like to use, it's up to you. I cannot create the same effect on this. So my answer to the question whether you can use watercolor paper to paint, yes you can, but you can see it's not the same. Maybe you can wet the paper and then do it into wet, but it's still not exactly the hard edge. It's maybe a little too stiff. We can also get hard edges on rice paper, but the soft part is very different, I think, especially with the wash. Okay, let me show you. If I do the same pick here. Just got some ink. We'll just do it in ink first. Let's do it this way. So everything is you cannot make any change. You can just add to it. You cannot erase. But the good thing with watercolor, with the rice paper, is that there's a watermark. You cannot really combine two strokes. It always separate with a watermark. So let's say one stroke, right? And if you go back. Sometimes the two good watercolor, especially the good watercolor paper, good rice paper, will have this characteristic that prevents the two stroke become one. So it's a pro or con. It depends on how good your calligraphy stroke is. If you have a good calligraphy stroke, you want to have the stroke to be recorded very precisely, But if you try to correct something, it's hard. It's not forgiving. Okay. It's very important to foreseeing the complete painting or the final painting in your mind, even every stroke before you touch the paper, because this paper is very absorbent. It doesn't allow you to paint slowly. So you have to kind of imagine the movement of the stroke, kind of plan it in advance, so no repeat. The watercolor tends to separate from the ink, the sumi ink. But if you use Chinese watercolor, they made because the different binding were used. So, but if you use Maurice or other brand Chinese watercolor, it will blend with ink better. But so what? Sometimes you like the color to bleed more than the ink. That's the interesting, the magic of watercolor on rice paper. Okay. Let's say if I use just use watercolor. I got some gray here. Instead of adding water to the ink, I use, because the gray in watercolor is a Davis gray, I think. You get more body. When you dilute the ink, you add too much water, it will smear more. But use the gray. Watercolor may help. So let's see. You can do the pick. Kissing each other, or maybe just parallel. Let's take a reference. This is a nice gray, right? Like an elephant gray. It's nice. I like that. Just add a little water to complete that bottom, and you can add a little more gray, a little more dark. It's a little elephant kind of. Very decisive. We can fill in the blank with writing, or you can paint more pics. Okay, let's write the greeting I just used here. Or here. So any water-based ink, watercolor or acrylic ink, can be used on rice paper. Cursive style. It says my birth year is coming, and then my name. I'll put a chop there later, so you can write either way. I think in this case I can write this way. This side I can write that way. It's all possible. Any questions? Let me just add a spine here. And just give a little variation to the tones. This we call it brick ink, or yeah. The more you try, the worse it becomes. That's the advice. Okay, I will see you pretty soon, right? 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We're about 20 days away to December, right? After Thanksgiving, we'll have some fun together, and make sure you have something on your table in front of your desktop, or you can use phone to watch this on YouTube and maybe on Facebook as well. And we'll do it together to celebrate the year of a pig. Which brush do I use? I used a soft hair brush, the white goat hair brush, the soft one, because I need a lot of moisture to do this. So I use you can use the combination brush, but don't use the stiff brush. So it's the white one that's clean it. You can see it's a white. Any questions before we end this announcement and the preview of my New Year's class? Oh, I do have a gift for you. If you order supplies from Blue Heron Arts, you can use the code YouTuber. Let me write it. Okay, write this code YouTuber. With R. Capital Y, and capital T. You will get 10% off on your order of 35 maybe, or more, okay? This is your reward for watching my channel, and subscribe to my channel so you get announcement when I'm going live. And I also have a live event. Make sure you reserve your date, okay? On December 1st. See you then. Jim has a question whether I mix watercolor and ink. Yes, I did. I just did minutes ago with this painting. It was watercolor. I use Hobian. How do you say it? Not much left. There's some more here. So I do use watercolor, and when you mix with ink, this is what happens. You can see the ink tends to stay in place while the watercolor runs away. So it's not very good integration, but it's okay if you want this kind of effect. Should I round up this pig heap a little bit, maybe? So the answer is yes, you can, but just be aware that kind of different. They don't really mix together. They tend to separate on the rice paper because the running speed is different. But it has a special aura maybe that you like. So you can see the pink kind of form a little ray, a highlight maybe around the stroke. I kind of like it. So if you like it, you can. I think the main reason we don't use watercolor is the wet mounting risk. I know the maybe some show restrict mounting method to wet mounting only. But I don't see any reason for reject a nice dry mounting. So that's their choice, I think. Dry mounting is as good as wet mounting, and the main advantage is that you don't have to worry about the watercolor gets smeared when wet mount. Yeah, rice paper is better than the watercolor paper, right? The watercolor paper, it's nice. It's nice to show colors more vibrant, but when it comes to line, in your painting, like a calligraphy, you can see the movement, the dance of the brush more. I think watercolor, if you use dry brush, it tends to be, I don't know, if it's light, it's okay, but when you have dry brush stroke on watercolor paper, sometimes it turns muddy, maybe, but it's nice to have muddy color on rice paper. There's no such concept called muddy, because any muddy color on rice paper looks very magical. I mixed all this one is also, this one done all in watercolor, only the signature is ink, I think. So this is a mix of Western watercolor and the Chinese ink. My ink is dried up, so it's overnight ink. Maybe fresh ink will mingle together with the color better. I think yes. So you can experiment with fresh ink. Maybe you would mix better. Okay, thanks, Jim. I hope you try it. And if not more questions, I will end this announcement. And again, we'll get together again, if not earlier, on December 1st to paint Chinese paint pigs for the Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year actually comes after the January, but we should, as the artists, we should learn how to do it. It takes time to practice, right? To prepare. So I will teach you 1 month before the calendar year. Okay, see you everybody. Goodbye. Have a nice day.